Hi, my name's Kirsty and I study history. Today I'm going to show you around the University of Chester's Parkgate Road campus. Come and have a look around. Parkgate Road is where you'll find many of the university's central facilities, with the main library, sports facilities, student accommodation and the Students' Union all located on campus. It's everything you need, all in one place. In the centre of Binks you'll find our info point, filled with approachable staff here to offer you help and guidance whenever you need it. We also have our brasserie and grab-and-go Starbucks, perfect for that time you want to take a break. Next we'll head on over to the library. Seabourn Library is the main university's library and it is in the heart of the Parkgate Road campus. As well as a variety of books, journals and online resources, the library also offers bookable study pods, perfect for group or individual study. There's also 24-hour access computer suites, perfect for those late-night study sessions. The library is also staffed with subject-specific librarians that are on hand to help with whatever you need. There's also a cafe downstairs, ideal for that well-earned study break. Opposite the library, we have bookable study spaces available for both staff and students. You just book it online and then you have a guaranteed workspace. Parkgate Road has many sports facilities on campus. This is the fitness suite where there are qualified personal trainers here to offer you help and guidance whenever you need it. We have a variety of different membership options available to suit all sorts of different lifestyles and budgets. The fitness suite has over 100 pieces of equipment and is also where you'll find our 25-metre swimming pool, spin studio and dance studio. At the bottom of our campus, you'll find a multifunctional sports hall that staff and students can alter the space of depending on the type of sport they want to play. Near to the sports hall, we have the floodlit AstroTurf, used frequently by our sports teams for sports such as hockey or lacrosse. We also have a floodlit 3G mugger pitch, which is great for sports such as football or rugby. Next to this, we have the 60-metre running tracks and both tennis and squash courts. And finally, our Parkgate Road campus is home to the Careers and Employability department. They are on hand to give you help with your career planning, whether that's mock interviews or looking over your CV. It's for people that are currently here or graduates for up to 2 years after graduation. Thank you for joining me on this tour around Parkgate Road campus. We hope to see you soon.
Okay, good evening everyone. Welcome to another live session brought to you by EM Global Education Limited. And today we have Tasmina Chaudhary, Country Manager, Bangladesh International Center, University of Chester. Thank you for joining today.
Thank you, Asif. Thank you for having me today.
Okay, so before going to the main session, I would like to explain a bit about EM Global Education, like what we are and how we're working. So, EM Global Education Limited is a trusted student consultancy firm, and our head office located in Dhaka, and we also have a branch office in Sylhet, Bajar. We also have international branch offices like India, Pakistan, Ghana, Nigeria, and many more coming Dubai, inshallah, so soon. And we basically help student, university, and course selection, like application process, visa guidance, and pre-departure support as well. So, Ms. Tasmina, if you agree, we can go to the main session, or if you
Sure.
would like to add something before, then you can add it up.
No, that's fine. We can move into the session, please.
So today, as we are discuss about the University of Chester, so let's start with the university background. Like, could you please express a bit about university background, history, culture, and all? Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Asif. Just want to say hi, everyone. My name is Tasmina. As Asif mentioned, I am the country manager for Bangladesh at the University of Chester. The University of Chester is a public university located in the UK, in Chester. We are one of the oldest higher education institute in the UK, dating back to almost 1839. So that's almost as old as Oxford's and Cambridge's. The university is located in a wonderful old quaint city in Chester in the Cheshire County. A university hosts almost students from over 130 countries at the moment. We have over 15,000 plus international students, and Bangladesh, of course, being one of our major regions from where we recruit students. The university has a varied range of schools that we are offering programs from. For example, we have the business school, which is very popular amongst Bangladeshi students. We also have a good medicine and allied health sciences school that is a very popular school for Bangladeshi students because we recruit a good number of medical background and health sciences background students. Each year we have over 3 intakes that runs through September, January, and May, where we recruit at varied levels, undergrad, postgrad, and research, which we were recruiting previously. It's in halt at the moment, but we still have that opportunity there.
So as you know, Chester is famous for medical school as well. Could you brief a small for the students like those interested in September intake and which courses are more suitable for them?
Okay, so we are currently recruiting for our September intake. The intake will start from last week of September. There are course days starting in the second week of October. So I believe that that's a good time for students to join. Just to let you know that we are still recruiting and the deadlines will probably close by the end of next month. So that is the end of July. So you have well about 2 months time at hand to make the application. Like I mentioned, we are currently recruiting for all our programs, which are the business school, health sciences, medicine school, and we have computer sciences as well. We have law, education. So whatever field you are coming into or whatever your previous background is, you're most welcome to apply. Depending on, of course, if you meet the entry requirement, you should have an offer within a week's time.
So in terms of tuition fees, could you explain about the tuition fees and scholarship as well?
Yes. In terms of tuition fees, like I mentioned, the varied level of entries that we have are foundation. So I'll start with the foundation year. We have a foundation year plus bachelor's program. So that is 1 year foundation, followed by 3 years of your undergraduate. So for the foundation year, the tuition fee is £11,250. On this, there is no scholarship because that is almost equivalent to the domestic tuition fee. If you then proceed on to your bachelor's, the bachelor's tuition fee is £14,950. Now, on this, if a student has 4.5 in their HSC, which is their qualifying entry requirement, then they will get £1,000 scholarship. If a student has 5, then they will get £2,000 scholarship. Now, the good thing, Asif, here is that our scholarship is a rollover scholarship, which essentially means that this scholarship will be given to student in year 1, year 2, and year 3. So essentially, if a student has 4.5, they will get £3,000 scholarship for the duration of their study. And if they have 5 in their HSC, then they will get £6,000 scholarship for the whole duration of their study. And because Bangladesh, of course, is a price-sensitive market, I feel like if you live with this scholarship, the tuition fee comes down to almost 12,500 or £13,000 per year of study, which I feel is a good amount for students to be able to bear. Now, moving on to postgraduate, the tuition fee for postgraduate is 15,500 if you're coming onto an MSc program. The scholarship on this is if a student has 2.75, which is our qualifying result, like they need 2.75 as their entry requirement, they will get a scholarship of £1,250. If they have 3.25, which is a merit level, then they will get additional £1,000. So either 1,250 or 2,250. That's the amount of scholarship they can get, depending on what their result is in their bachelor's. Okay.
Okay. So the tuition fees is similar to domestic student, so that's why the scholarship amount is not that much for the international
Yeah,
student.
yeah, Correct,
So
correct. So
this is
our tuition fee is low to begin with. So what we are aiming here is that the education quality, of course, should be high, but tuition fee should be kept at a level which it also seems affordable for the student to be able to bear. Which is why, with the tuition fee, with the scholarship, the tuition fee then comes down to about 13,500 to 14,000 pounds.
so this is a very affordable option for the international student like Bangladesh and India as well. Okay. So in terms of entry requirement, what sort of requirement needed for this
Okay.
courses?
If a student is coming onto our undergrad, they want to directly apply onto our bachelor's level, then they will be required to have 4.5 in their HSC. If they don't have 4.5, in that case, they will have to come to our foundation year, for which they will need to have minimum 4. If they have anything under 4, I'm afraid then they are not able to join. But if they have 4.5, then direct entry into undergraduate. Anything below 4, from 4 to 4.5, they can join us through foundation. That's the entry requirement for the undergraduate program. If they're coming on to the postgraduate program, they will need to have completed 4 years of bachelor's, and the result needs to be 2.75 minimum to come onto the program. Now, there will be some programs where you might need to have a prerequisite, or you might need to do like a small task. For example, if you're applying to some of our computer sciences programs, once you make the application, you might have to complete a small task, which is nothing for students if they're coming from computer sciences background. But these are very far and few. The general entry requirement is based on the academic entry requirement.
So do the students require 13 class for bachelor program, or after the HEC they can go to direct to the bachelor program?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Oh, after HEC the student
Yes.
can directly go to the bachelor program, or they need 13 class or
No,
one
no,
year of bachelor
they can,
inside their
they can directly come on to the undergraduate. If they finish their HSC and they have the required result, which is 4.5, then they can directly apply into the undergraduate program.
Okay, so what sort of documents are required for the application for both PG and UG as well?
Okay. Before that, I would just like to say a bit about the English language requirement. As you know, we of course also have additional English language requirement. For undergraduate, it is IELTS 6, no band below 5.5, and for PG, it's 6.5, no band below 5.5. Just bear in mind that this is not the only test that we accept. We also accept like PTE, TOEFL. So I would advise students to please have a look at our website, where we have outlined the different types of, I believe we accept about 10 to 12 types of English language tests. The reason we promote IELTS more, because that's the most commonly taken test, but of course we accept the others as well. Now, coming back to your questions, whilst you are making the application, the most important thing for you to submit, of course, is your transcript and your certificate at the first instance. Along with that, you will need to submit your passport, your academic reference, and work reference if it's relevant. So at the university, we exempt students 1 year of study gap. Anything beyond 1 year, the student will need to submit some sort of work reference. So the student that is applying, if they have over 1 year study gap, they are required to give work reference. If they have below 1 year study gap, then that is not required. And the most important thing, apart from the transcript and the certificate, of course, as you know, is the statement of purpose or the letter of intent that students submit, which is very important because we make a lot of judgment based on the statement of purpose as to why the student wants to come on to this program, what their career ambitions are. At the first instance, even if you don't provide English language, say the student has not taken the English language test, they will still get an offer based on their academic ability. But there will be a deadline within which they will have to submit the English language test as well. So just be mindful. Students need to be mindful of those deadlines. If they're within the deadline, then they can submit the English language test later as well.
Okay, okay. So in terms of gap, right, for undergrad program, there must be 2 years gap or 1 year's gap, or for
Okay, so
postgraduate.
if they are coming on to foundation, I'll start from foundation. If they're coming on to foundation, then we accept up to 2 year study gap only. If they're coming on to undergrad, then we accept 5 year study gap from their previous level of study. If they're coming to postgrad, then we will accept 7 years for non-STEM programs and 10 years for STEM related programs. And I feel like this is a sufficient amount of gap for students to be out of studies. Any gap, any amount beyond that would not be very genuine. So I think this is a good enough time we are allowing students to apply. But like I mentioned, we will accept the gap, but there has to be evidence explanation of what they have been doing during that time.
Okay, so especially if someone holding the managerial position, I think they are best suited for applying for master's
Correct.
program exceeding
Correct.
7 years gap, right? Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay. Okay, so in terms of accommodation facilities, how
yes.
Chester facilitated the students?
At the university, we have various accommodation within the university campus and outside the university campus as well, which are run by the university. There are private accommodations as well. Depending on the student's choice, you can then pick them. If a student holds an offer and they have made a deposit, our accommodation team will reach out to them and let them know that these are the facilities available to you. It's a form where you have to mention what your budget is, what your preferences are, and you will be given allocation like that. Just to give an example of what the cost would look like, the minimum starts from the self-catered shared accommodation, where you have to pay say about 120 to 150 pounds per week, and it can go up to 200, 300, depending on if you're taking the studio apartments or the ensuite apartments. If you're not able to secure one of the university accommodation, then you can also look into private accommodation, which are also equally safe, because these details are on our university website, and these are for University of Chester students only, and they're in and around the university campus. So if you are unable to secure a university accommodation, you can also look into these private accommodations as well.
So the minimum accommodation range per week is 120 GBP.
120 to 130 if these are self-catered, like you cook on your own, you share, and then it
Okay.
can go up to 200, 250, depending on if you take studio apartments. So there are various type of options there.
Okay, so I think it's a very affordable option for international
Correct.
students, those who are
Yes.
really interested. Okay, so in terms of career option, most of the students are highly focused on the work option, part-time work
Correct.
option. So if any students want to go the University of Chester, what sort of options are available for the international students?
I'm going to mention two routes here. The first one is being able to do work placement whilst you are doing a degree with us, which essentially means that we have some undergraduate programs in our business and computer sciences school, where usually would come on a 3-year bachelor's program, correct? Without doing that, you can also come on the 4-year sandwich program, where a work placement is embedded. So that is one of the options that you can choose if you're coming onto a bachelor's program. With our postgraduate programs as well, we offer programs in business school, in computer sciences, in biotech. These are a few programs where we have 2-year programs, which includes placement year. So 1 year they will study, and the second year they will do a placement year. So that is also an option for student to explore if they're looking for some work experience whilst they are on their degree. Now, this is the option to do work whilst you are on your work studying route. As a student, when you are in the UK, you are allowed to work 20 hours per week during term time and full time when you are not studying. Chester, like I mentioned, it's a tourist city. It's a very lively city. So there are people around Chester all year round. So there are good opportunities to work because in the city center there are a lot of restaurants, there are a lot of retail shops. So there is good opportunity to work in the city. There's also opportunity to work in the university itself, because like I mentioned, the university has various campus in and around Chester, in Liverpool as well, and beside Chester as well. So you could apply into one of the positions with the university. We are also very closely located to Manchester and Liverpool, which are, of course, bigger metropolitans. So students might find work there as well. So, in terms of finding work, my honest opinion is that there is, of course, work, but you have to actively look for it. The thing with Bangladeshi students is that, which I often struggle with to explain to them, is that when they go into a new city or they go to study, they hope that somebody will find work for them, or they wait for a connection to put them in touch with them. Please be proactive, hand out your CVs, speak to our university career development department, who will help you prepare for job interviews. So there's a lot of options there that they can choose from.
So in terms of graduate employability rate, how do you evaluate University of Chester?
Um, th- from the undergraduate to postgraduate employability route, percentage, it is 95% and above for the University of Chester, and that is in terms of the students going for further education plus the students going for employability. Usually most of our students, if they're coming from the medical background, they would try to integrate into the NHS in the UK. Most of them who've completed their undergrad has gone on to further education with us, because we also have an alumni scholarship for students if they're finishing bachelor's to going to postgraduate. Students who've come back to Bangladesh have also done successfully well. We have got these testimonials on the website of Bangladeshi students, who finished their MSCs and have come back and now doing good work here. So, as a university that backs student for graduate employability or further education, we are in the 90th percentile.
Okay, thank you. In terms of scholarship, I'd like to add, like, most of the students are very focused on scholarship. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so they also asked us, like, like, during the time of study, is there any option available regarding the scholarship that I avail the highest grade inside the class for this course? Then would I get any scholarship, additional scholarship apart from the
Okay.
flat one?
At the moment, we don't have anything like that. I understand what you mean. Like, if they say, for example, if they acquire a certain result, then would they get additional scholarship? We don't have that at the moment. And like I mentioned, that's because our tuition fee is already quite low to begin with compared to a lot of our contemporaries in the industry. So not anything like that at the moment, but of course the students should maintain their highest result, because that eventually does help them with a good job. It helps them to boost their CVs. So please ensure that you maintain a good grade. And I feel like if you have had good academic result, you start off with a lower tuition fee to begin with, and I'm hoping that should be enough for you.
Okay. Uh, Maybe I'm facing some technical problem. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you are audible to me. Can you hear me?
Okay, okay. Okay, so in terms of CAS,
Yeah.
before class interview, how a student should take this preparation?
Okay. So as you know, the CAS interviews are conducted on enrollee at the moment. It is a self-recorded interview. Essentially, questions will come on the screen. Students read that and they record themselves, which I think is a good opportunity for students to do the interview at their own time. In general, for CAS interviews, the topics that are largely covered, which a genuine student should already know, is basically why you want to study in the UK and not in your home country, what you know about the university that you're coming to, why do you want to study this particular program, what relevance does it have with your previous education, and your aim in future. So if you are a genuine student, you should have researched these questions in your mind thoroughly. The thing is, I feel personally that I feel like there's a lot of pressure on students for the CAS interview, and they over prepare more than they should. So the first thing is for you to be confident. You know the answers. I always tell students that you know the answers, but because you prepare so much and you try to learn so much, on the actual day of the interview you don't do so well. Because if you are, say, applying to the University of Chester, I'm sure in the 2 or 3 months that you have gone through the application process, you must have gone through the university website, you must have looked at your course details, what we are going to teach, and these are absolutely the questions that we ask. So there is no reason why you should not be able to answer these questions. So just be confident and don't try to learn too much, and I think students should be fine.
So it's a very normal, like, don't memorize and say all the things. It must be very general,
Yes.
like natural. So what's the initial deposit amount before CAS?
Okay. So our deposit requirement is £8,000 deposit for all programs at all levels except PG business, where the student has to give full fee. So that's the deposit for proceeding onto the program. However, we have a very good option for students where they only have to pay £1,500 initially to move on to the CAS stage and do the remaining work, and they can then pay the required amount within the deposit deadline. So, for example, if somebody has to pay £8,000, the deposit deadline, say, is the last week of July. If they get the offer now, they can pay £1,500 only and move on to their CAS processing, and within the deposit deadline, then they can pay the remaining tuition fees.
Okay, so it's a very easy
Good
for the
option.
student.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So, from your side, why a student should choose University of Chester from Bangladesh? Yeah, can you
That's a
please
good
say?
question. I think I'll begin by saying from my own experience, I am an alumni myself. I've studied at the University of Chester, and I can say firsthand how good the quality of education is and how helpful faculty is. I understand when students go from Bangladesh or say any part of the world, if they have not had exposure or to foreign education, it could be quite scary and daunting for you to mix and integrate into that culture. The first thing is that the University of Chester will give you good support in terms of integrating in the university. You will have a lot of help with your education to be able to understand. The community itself is very helpful because the city is sort of like a university based city, so all the people there are very helpful. Secondly, the programs that we offer, say be it business or the computer sciences, we have a varied range of programs, so I'm sure you will definitely find something that suits your need. And finally, there's a good Bangladeshi community there at the moment. The tuition fee and the scholarship combined is quite reasonable, like I mentioned, compared to a lot of our contemporaries in the industry at the moment. And finally, with the graduate success rate that we have, I think Chester should definitely be one of your choices when you're making applications for the September intake.
So, especially those who want to study in health sector, especially medical sector, this is a very
Correct.
good option for the students, especially from Bangladesh. Okay, so maybe we can take questions from the Facebook as we have a lot of questions in the comment section. I would like to request our technical team to adhere. So, Mr. Asif, I would like to know regarding the scholarship and has it changed for this year or still same as before?
The scholarship has remained same as it has been before. We've not made any changes to the scholarship. Our tuition fees have also not changed as much. So if you are applying into the September intake, like I mentioned, the scholarship is, I'm not sure what level you're asking for, but if you're applying to undergrad, it's either 1,000 or 2,000 depending on your academic results. And if you're applying into postgrad, it's 1,250 or 2,250 depending on your result.
So, do you offer pharmacy program?
Alpha, I'm afraid we don't at the moment. Like we did previously, but for the September intake, we are not recruiting for the pharmacy program at the moment.
Okay, and how to prepare for CAS interview?
Sadman, I think we did cover this a bit, but I'll just reiterate again for you. If you are looking to sit for your CAS interview, the broader questions or the broader topics that you should be covering is why you want to have a foreign education in the UK specifically, what is lacking in your home country, why do you want to go to the University of Chester when you have other UK options, why this particular program, like how it relates to your previous studies, how it relates to your future career goals, and in general idea about say visa regulations, what your tuition fees are. If you cover these broader topics, then you should be fine with the CAS interview.
So the maximum study for post graduation again.
The maximum study gap for postgraduates is if you are applying onto one of the non-STEM programs, then it's 7 years. If you're applying into a STEM related program, then it's 10 years study gap.
So law department, is there
Yes,
any law
Rida, we do
department?
have a law department. We recruit for both undergraduate and postgraduate programs. I'm not sure which one you're asking for. We do have almost 3 to 4 courses in undergrad, and I think 2 or 3 courses in the postgraduate program level as well.
So the minimum cash deposit, as we covered already,
Yes,
8,000, 1,500 initial before the interview.
correct.
Yeah. So is there,
Do we accept visa refusal? I'll be very honest that it is a very case-to-case situation. If you've had a recent UK visa refusal, then no, it's a straightforward no. We are not going to accept that. If you've had a visa refusal from a different destination, then it depends on what your visa refusal reason is. For example, if you have been rejected on genuine intention or interview reasons, then it's fine. We can accept that. But say, for example, if you have been rejected 3 months back, depending on your financial reasons, then it is very unlikely that your financial situation has improved in the last 3 months. So, depending on what the reason is, you can make the application. Just make sure that you upload your rejection letter, and on the basis of that, we will give you a decision.
How many chances a student get for CAS interview?
Kaushik, we of course would love the student to pass at the first instance, but I mean, I understand that is probably unlikely for a lot of times. We do give students two chances to sit for the interview.
How is the interview conducted? CAS
It
interview.
is, yeah, it is a sort of like an AI interview where you have to record yourself. The questions will appear on screen. You get about 2 minutes to answer each question. It's not like you have to complete like 2 minutes. If you're done answering, then you can move and skip on to the next one, and then you upload the interview once it's completed.
So can I apply with my DIU MY, maybe Daffodil International University MY, University
Okay.
Master's Program?
At the moment, for the University of Chester, we are not accepting any MOI. So it doesn't matter which university you're from. In general, we are not accepting MOIs. So you will have to sit one of the English language tests that we accept.
Sad part for Bangladeshi students.
I understand.
Yeah. Do you have any university accommodation?
We do have university accommodation. If you just go back and hear the a bit back of the live that we did, I have mentioned which ones we have, but I'll just say it in short. We have accommodation in campus as well and out of campus as well. It's both run by the university and private accommodations that are for university students.
Okay, I think that was the last question. So I would like to request Ms. Tasmina if you want to add something regarding EN Global Education, especially those who are highly interested for September intake.
Yes.
As we are direct partner with the University of Chester, please add it out.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me today. And as I mentioned, we are currently recruiting for the September intake, deadlines for which will close by the end of next month. So if students are interested, please make sure that you are submitting all your application by this month, because as you know, at the moment for all destination, you need a lot of time to get a visa outcome. So it's just not UK specific, it's for all study destinations. And if you are interested in applying, please get in touch with EN Global. Asif has mentioned their branches. They are available in Sylhet and Dhaka. They are one of our long-term partners in Bangladesh. They will help you with all your application process. So I'm hoping to see a few students that get in touch with EN Global and do come to Chester in September.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and valuable information. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. For more details or personal counseling, please contact EN Global Education Limited and have a great day. Thank you all. And thank you, Mr. Smita, for your valuable time.
Thank you, Asif. Thank you.